and I'm so excited for this. Thank you, everybody. Skillup Africa, everyone joining. I'm so grateful. I'm so glad to be here. Talking to us about you know Microsoft Power Platform. If you could hear a little bit of background noise, just bear with me. All right. Uh, we're outside, like we say, we're outside. Being outside will not stop us from passing on knowledge. All right. So I want to talk to us about the Microsoft Power Platform, and then in turn, that would then lead to seeing how Microsoft Power Platform could then be used and could be valuable when it comes to building customer-focused business solutions. All right, basically any technology is for building. Customer solutions for the purpose of what easing the case of doing business, right? Yusuf, you can move forward. Just move forward. All right. So, while looking at this today, I'll be talking to us generally about. You can move forward. I think we've done this. You can move forward. This is me. This is what I do. You can hear. All right. Now, let's look at what we'll be looking at today. So today we'll be looking at a few things about the Microsoft Power Platform. I'll be talking to us about what the Microsoft Power Platform is generally. I'll be talking to us about the components of Power Platform and the use cases. All right. And then I'll be talking to us about how you can use that to create business solutions that are industry accepted and industry valued. All right. And then definitely I'll be talking to us about the value of the Power Platform when it comes to career and business sustainability. All right. Probably you're on the call who you are from the other side of the divide, the side of development. You want to be a business developer, a solutions developer, a software developer, whichever, right? How you can also delve into this system. And if yours is that you have a business and you are looking at how Power Platform can be valuable for your business, right? I'll be talking to us about that also. But let's move forward and let's start talking about it from the general overview. Now, what is the Power Platform? What is the Power Platform? Yusuf, going forward. What is the Power Platform? Now, see, the Power Platform is what we like to call a suite of applications, right? If you so move over to the next slide for me, where I have all of it here, it's a suite of applications. So let's speak it from this angle, and I would like to explain this, bringing in my experience and let my experience, help justify what I'm about to talk to you about. Now, I started, like you heard, my career as a creative designer. Yep, I started from creating designs with Photoshop, back in the days of Corel Draw. Then we moved on to Photoshop, to Illustrator, and all of that. However, I switched over to engineering fully, where we now start doing software development and software engineering. So I code PHP and C Sharp. However, I've been involved in building various industry, served applications. All right. However, this is what is key. Along my journey of development, which has been very fantastic. I know what's an advantage to us as developers, and I know what is also a disadvantage to us as developers. Now, when I say advantage, when it comes to building custom-based solutions, it comes very easy to do that. Can easily build any custom-based solution, having maybe a React JS, a Node.js as your front end if you want, if you like that, or vanilla JavaScript, and then probably write your back end with a C Sharp and all of that. However, that's building a custom-based solution. But when you look at the industrial ecosystem, generally, let's pick a financial sector, for example, you would believe and agree with me that the financial sector have quite a lot of things they do, right? From reconciliation to audit to customer management to customer engagement to process management to financials, quite a lot of things they do. Now, if you engage a pro developer, a core developer to build, processes for each of these systems that they have inside that financial sector, say a bank, for example, you would understand that building that model or building those, customer oriented application might take what we call time and take what we call effort from the side of the developers, right? Now, if you employ me to build you a web application, a website, a mobile application, definitely I'm going to get that done for you in a matter of months. Fantastic. Now, when it comes to building industry related processes, for example, you have, say, you have an approval process, an approval system. Let's set an example right now. A Somebody comes to the bank to apply for a loan, right? Applies for the loan. Before the loan is approved, I'm sure there has to be some sort of approval levels. Or who is managing the loan? So the manager to the manager who is managing the loan approves the loan. When it's not approving the loan, there is a part of the organization that has to process the loan, right? In this case, so when you move through all of those different systems and different departments that needs to pull through that loan, that's about 3 or 4 different steps of approval. Now, if you bring in a core developer like myself who code the C# language to come and run the approval for you, it will mean that I have to write some codes. Yep. I have to write my code to get that done. And I'm telling you that it will take a while because I need to probably, from the understanding of that process and algorithm, I need to start, declaring some variables to be able to implement them in my method and all of those things, right? It will take a lot of while. However, are there other ways through which I can do the same approval in a more simpler and faster way, even cost effective? Don't forget, if you ask me to write an approval, leveraging on a core stack, I still have to what? Have it deployed somewhere on an infrastructure. Probably have it deployed on an Azure, have it deployed on an AWS, a digital ocean. But I have to just have it on what? On a platform, right? However, how about a system that already solves that whole scenario for me? All I need to just do is click here, click there, bring this together, and boom, the approval is live. In less than 5-10 minutes, I'm done with the approval. Yep. Now, am I saying that doing that activity with cost stack is not important? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that when it comes to business structure, and when it comes to making your business operations come out with ease, then you need to understand that there's a place of pro code in development, there's a place of low code or no code in development. Follow what I'm saying here? So that's the reason for the system I'm about to talk to you. The Microsoft Power Platform. Don't forget, I said I code C# ASP.NET. That is a programming language orchestrated, compiled by the Microsoft technology system themselves. However, the same Microsoft that has given us what we call ASP.NET as a language to write today, or the same Microsoft who developed the IDE most of us on this call probably use today, Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, the same Microsoft now says, let's make available low-code technology systems whereby folks who cannot who cannot code or write programs can also be a developer. Developer for what? Developer for building industry related processes. Don't forget, the idea of any development is building processes that are valuable for every organization. No matter what they do, all have processes. For example, we are on a webinar today. I am sure that Yusuf and his team has gone through a lot of processes, approval level, to make today happen. I know for sure because I've had back and forth mails with them. So which means my mail is going through an approval system, right? However, you know that those approval system could happen and could be easier, which I'm sure they did, with what? Following industry related processes. So when you look at your screen right now, you're seeing the Power Platform, which is powerful alone. However, it's even better together. When I say powerful alone, yeah, what I mean is this. We have about 4 core module of the Microsoft Power Platform, everyone. We have the Power Apps, we have the Power Automate, we have the Power BI, and then we have the Power Virtual Agent. Now, I'm going to explain what each of these do. Now, when you look at the Power Apps, what the Power Apps helps you to achieve is build applications, right? The essence of me programming any language is to build applications, whether mobile application, web application, yeah, just building applications, right, for business purposes or for any major purpose. As it could be for commercial purpose also. Now, when it comes to Power Platform, Building applications here serves a major goal: enterprise purpose, or let's say business purpose. Because whether your business of a business of 5, of 10, of 15 people, yes, the Microsoft Power Platform can serve you adequately. So when we have the Power Apps, helps you build industry approved processes. So I can build a mobile centric application. I can build a web oriented application. How? Just to serve a business purpose. I do not need to know how to code to build these applications. Aha, that's what I'm going to. So I do not need to understand how to write a programming stack or language to be able to build an application that is industry accepted with Power Apps. Whether your application you need it to look like a web platform, like a website, a web page, then we have what we call the Power Pages. Power Pages can do that for you. Whether you need to build an application that is mobile oriented, where you can have access to it on your mobile phone, the Power Apps Canvas app, we call it Canvas app, can address that. Whether you need to build an application that serves as an administrative purpose, yeah, more like an application where you can have engagement with external users, maybe customer service related application and all of that. You can have a model driven application. Now, don't forget what I said. These are all enterprise applications, which means that they are applications that are what for an enterprise purpose. They are sitting on an enterprise platform. All right. That's what Power Apps helps you do. The Power Automate is the other side of things. Now, the Power Automate, as it sounds, automate is for automations. I was talking about an approval process earlier, right? So imagine I raise an approval ticket. I raise an approval. Let's say I'm to go for leave. Then I submit my leave proposal. When I submit my leave proposal, what happens? It goes through a channel, right? To my probably my team lead. Now, if you look at the current way of doing maybe that process, people probably fill a form, takes the form to their team lead picks the form, takes the form to his manager. If the manager approves, the manager takes the form to the HR. If the HR approves, then probably they need to take it to finance to process probably your leave allowance, right? That's about five different approval level. Now you can imagine having to take a paper from one spot to another, or if you are using maybe an HR application and there has a leave possibility, you can imagine having to call or make a phone call to your manager to say that check out. Can you imagine? Check out the application for an approval process. Nah, you don't need to do that. With the Power Automate, you can make it easier. You see, with the Power Automate, I'm going to raise an approval. I will include all the approval level all at once. If Yusuf is my first approval level, when it gets to Yusuf it hits Yusuf platform. Yusuf gets an email easily. He gets an email. All he needs to do is from that email, he can approve to say, okay, I'm approving this leave, and he can pass a comment to say this should be done. Once Yusuf is done with that approval, I can have the same automation. Say once Yusuf is done, move that approval from Yusuf to the next person. Then once Yusuf clicks approve and he passes his information, he moves to the next person. The next person also gets his email. You know, one thing that is very interesting, guys, is that you are doing all of this in the Microsoft ecosystem. So because you are doing it inside the Microsoft ecosystem, it even gets better. So the approval cannot be done only on your mail. In the Microsoft ecosystem, we have a communication tool called Microsoft Teams, which means you can also approve on Microsoft Teams. Most times, most people do all of their daily work on Microsoft Teams. Everybody's probably on Teams every day. I'm on Teams right now. I do all my work on Teams. I can access all my files, all my documents. I even write my programs on Teams. I can embed my IDE on Teams and write my code there and allow all my fellow developer to see. I can build my Power Apps on Teams. I can build my Power Automate on Teams. So Teams is like a communication tool that allows consolidation. Why am I saying that? So your manager can actually go into that same Teams and approve, apart from the email, or the manager can actually go into the system itself, the Power Automate system itself, to approve. So Power Automate helps with automation. Guys, tell me the kind of automation you want to do. Is it automation about querying information from another platform? What we call today API models, right? When we write APIs, our API function is to be able to query information from a third party. You can use Power Automate to do that. Power Automate can help you look into a third party, get information from that third party, bring that information anywhere you need it. Let me tell you the interesting thing. Even though it's a system seated on a Microsoft infrastructure called Azure, right? Azure is a Microsoft cloud infrastructure. Even though it is seated on the Microsoft Azure platform, if you have a web application, for example, you built your company's application on, maybe it's hosted on an HostGator, an HostInga, a DigitalOcean, a Linode, right? And you would like to query information from that platform and bring it into your business, your office business that is being automated by Power Platform. Can you do that? Yes. Power Automate can query any platform. Well, if the platform has an open-ended, open source API model, we can get that information and use. We don't even have to write the code. All we need to do is please give us your API link or your API, scope and schemas, and we can query it with the Power Platform, with the Power Automate. Can you see that? So easy, right? Your automations can even go externally. Maybe you write an automation, you want to disburse an email. Automation is so sweet, guys. You have it in different models. Tell me the model you want. Do you want it in scheduled? Do you want it in instant? Do you want it in automated? Event driven. What do I mean by event driven? I can say that I actually did that for this course. Actually, I did that automation to say that every time Yusuf's mail, I copied Yusuf's mail and I said every time Yusuf's mail hits my mailbox, I need a I alert pop up, pam pam pam, to tell me that what this is a very important mail I need to attend to. So every time an email comes from Yusuf at skillupafrica.com, once it hits my box, I get a specific pop-up, a specific alert about that. Are there other mails that comes in? Yes. But I've specified a simple automation that says, this mail is priority. When it hits my mailbox, let me know. That's what we call event driven. So when an event happens, let me know. You can say maybe somebody if an information is submitted, for example, maybe you are saying if a customer sends an email to info@skillupafrica.com or support@skillupafrica.com to say, Skillup Africa, we need your help on a training, something like that. You can say that immediately that mail comes in that says help, or maybe the subject line says help or says inquiry. You can say, okay, that email is important. Maybe I have a specific alert or do something. Can you see that? That's what we call event driven. Now we have what we call scheduled. Scheduled means I can say every 9 a.m. I need to get a pop-up or an alert, a mail alert that what it's time to do team bonding. It's time to do review of something. Is that you don't have to stress. Even if you've forgotten, you get the pop-up. It's like a reminder. But don't forget, reminder happens on your phone. We are talking your business here. We are talking enterprise here. You have 2,000 staffs, 3,000 staffs. How do you get your staff to say when they get to work in the morning? I wrote an automation for a bank in the country here. I'm going to use, because the project we did for that bank was really large. And the automation says, so they have a reconciliation department. So reconciliation is every day they do account consolidations. So what they do is they have a mailer that says I think every 11 a.m. they need to get a pop-up to check whether they have those informations in. If they don't have it in, then if see now, so what they do is every 11 they all go. What they do is they go to their mail and start checking one by one if the mail has come in from that customer. If they don't get the mail, then they have to send the mail back to the customer to say we have not gotten the mail or make a phone call. So when I got there, I did a very simple automation. See what we did? I said what? So every 11, my automation checks if there's any email from that particular mailbox. If there's no mail from that mailbox, I have another automation that will be triggered at 11. Are you following what I'm saying? It will be triggered at 11 and send a reminder to the customer. Do you get what I'm saying? So what happens is the so-called staff of the bank gets to his mail at 11:10, 11:15. He's going to find what he's looking for there. Because once the system checks, once that mail did not come in at 11, the system sends a message to the customer. If the customer did not respond in 5 minutes, that was what we said. It's a counter of 5 minutes. It sends another reminder every 5 minutes. Come on, by the time you get a mail every 5 minutes or another for 5 times, you will do the needful because you can't stop it. It keeps coming. That's what automation. So the employer does not have to be the one to do that. Our automation was doing that for them. We didn't. Let me tell you guys something. I wrote that automation in 5 minutes. I didn't. I wrote it in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. I didn't have to do anything. Just 5 minutes. Yeah. Now it's so interesting for me. I'm talking to you from a perspective of both divide. I'm a pro developer. I write codes every day, guys. I have projects that are core software engineering projects. At the same time, I don't joke with my Power Platform model because today, as I'm talking to you now, let me tell you the truth, everybody. There is no tell me a bank that you have that you know in this country, maybe out of 100%, maybe you find just 2 or 3% that does not sit on the Microsoft infrastructure when it comes to their productivity infrastructure, when it comes to their mailing services, their collaboration tools. Which bank today is not using Outlook? That's Exchange for their mail. Which of them is not using Word, Office, PowerPoint for their work? None of them. So this is the idea. Because they already pay Microsoft for that tool, we come in place to tell them, oh, you already pay for Microsoft 365. You have other possibilities in that license you don't know. They ask us what is that possibility. We tell them inside that same license, we can build things for you. Can you see that? We can build Power Apps for you. We can build Power Automate for you. We can do Power BI for you. Yes, when you need it on high level, you might need extra license. But even with that little M365 E1, E3 that you have, we can still build things for you in this case. Can you see that? So I've told you what Power Apps can do, what Power Automate can do. Then let me tell you what Power BI can do. Now, Power BI is, I'm sure it's popular out of all of this. I'm sure it's the most popular one because a lot of people learn Power BI, in silo outside the Power Platform. So the Power BI is an analytics tool. What does it do? What the Power BI do is purely help you what analyze data, report on data. You want to do data reporting, data analysis, data cleaning. The Power BI helps you to do that. I'm sure we know today that what every business needs. See, let me tell you one beautiful thing. There is no business today that does not live on data. Everybody lives on data, really. But at the same time, those who do well with data are those who analyze data, those who make vital use of that data. However, when it comes to analysis, a lot of people do manual analysis with Excel, right? They put data on Excel, then they start cleaning. Maybe your data says 10.00. The next data says 10.002. Next one says 10.0. The next one says 10. Now that's inconsistency in your data, right? So a lot of people go to Excel and they try to clean it up, using the Excel formula and all of that. However, before they can then for reporting, they probably have to now send the Excel like that. I did a project sometimes in 2020 with a pharmaceutical company in the country. uh this is a manufacturing company, right? I'm sure we know that. And that means they produce a lot of things every day. I mean, let me tell you how important it is. In 60 seconds, I mean 1 minute, they produce about 45 to 50 syringe. You know what syringe is, right? That syringe they put medicine to give you injection. In less than 45 seconds to 60 seconds, they produce about 45 to 60. Now that's a lot, right? But do you know the issue they had? They do not have productivity visibility. They do not have data visibility. They buy materials, right? And for that kind of organization, you know that there's a lot of material loss, but they don't have a way of getting their material loss. You can't do that manually, guys. No matter how, I met the guy who handles that, and the guy was struggling. He was struggling. He told me, AY, I struggle. We traveled from Lagos to the place. I stay in Lagos, so we traveled over to the company's location, and I had to do what we call job shadowing. If you are a solution architect like myself, you understand that there's something we call job shadowing, which is when you go to your customer site to see how they do that business so that you can provide the best automation for them. So we traveled over there, and I had to sit down with this guy to see how the work was. He was doing the work. Oh my goodness, it was tedious. So what it does is every time, every day, Lord have mercy, they go into the manufacturing, production industrial, where they do their production, and it goes to record materials, what was lost, even miscount of a lot of them. He comes back to his desk, pass them all on Excel, and then he goes back, gets what has been produced, puts it all on Excel, gets what they received, and then start doing the calculation. And I'm like, how do you do this, guy? And he does that, and there's a lot of backlogs. I'm like, you don't need this. This is a waste of valuable human time. So we did a very simple. So we're meant to come and do data reporting for them. That's Power BI. But I saw that and I said, oh, Power Automate and Power Apps can help you do this. I asked the engineers, how do you submit report of what you have done in the day? then they showed me the paper that we fill this paper. Ow! How do you do that? So what we did was we built a simple power apps for them, Canvas app. So it's a factory, right? I said so because it's a factory, you might not all be able to hold your phone because of safety. And so they have the desktop in the factory. I said it's even easier. So what I did was on the power apps on the desktop, we provisioned a simple power apps for them there. So what they do is just go to the desktop, put in what you've done, your information, and you submit. Once you submit that information, the information gets to a central database that we created for them, which is Microsoft Dataverse, which I'm going to explain that one to you again. It gets into Dataverse. The guy who normally would probably come down, and then normally is apart from that guy, there's also the quality assurance department. They also come down to do it. So what we did was once all these guys fill in that information, now this is the interesting thing. The process did not start from there. The process starts from inventory. So what we did was we built an application for the inventory. So if the inventory sends 10,000 materials worth to the production team in the day, it records 10,000. It enters the database. When the production team puts their own information of what they produce in the day into the system, it hits the database. Then there's a simple application for the quality assurance to see, oh, inventory submitted 10,000, you produce 7,000, you wasted 3,000 materials. Are you following what I'm saying? They are able to see that. Okay, fantastic. The other guy who normally will come and type in Excel doesn't have to do that. That data is already in the database for him. All he needs to do is look at the data, and then that's fine. Data is there. Let me now tell you what the idea of that data is for reporting, right? We now plugged Power BI into that database. So when that information hits that database, it goes to Power BI. Power BI now do the reporting. So we did the reporting as they needed. They wanted the reporting for sales, so that their sales people can, when they do their sales, we can see how many, okay, how did we sell in this state, how did we sell in this state, how many did you sell in this. So they had a reporting model that was done for them, for the sales department, for the financial department. Their CEO he loved it because all he had to do was his mobile phone. So he could be on the plane, flying to another country, and he's seeing what is happening in his company every second. He sees how many material left the inventory to the production room. He sees how many material left the production room to after production. He sees how many things were produced. He can see what was wasted. He can see the sales, the sales trajectory. Fantastic stuff, right? We built that with what this Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. And they were all using the same database, so it gets easier. And that database, I will explain. So the last on this list is the Power Virtual Agent. Now, the Power Virtual Agent is your chatbot model. So the Power Virtual Agent, what it does for you is that with the Power Virtual Agent, you are able to build intelligent bots. I'm sure we all know what chatbots are, right? When you go to a website, you probably say chatbot, and then you have to talk to the chatbot, right? Like, hi, I want to make inquiry about Skillup Africa. And then the chatbot answers you. Then if the conversation now gets to an heated point, then the chatbot will not be able to answer you again. The chatbot then will have to direct you to a live agent, right? But you see that chatbot, guys. In my entire career, I've been involved in building a chatbot system 3 times. The least of them was done in 6 months, and I think maybe that 6 months was recent when I have more when my hands were better, stronger on my programming. But I've done one for about 2 years, one for about a year plus, right? Now the last customer we built for 6 months, it took us to write the project. I did another project for them for one of their franchise in another country, another chatbot. They wanted us to redeploy the other one. I told them I have a better way, which was when I brought this for them. We did this in less than 3 weeks. The only reason why it took us 3 weeks was because it's a conversational bot, and conversational bots are very tedious because you need to think through conversations. That's how chatbot works. If somebody comes to my platform and say, "Hi," my bot should reply, "Hello, what do you want?" If the person says, "I want to this," and so my bot needs to be intelligent enough to know how to return that answer based on our knowledge base, our repository of FAQs, Q&As, and all of that. So that's the only reason why it took us 3 weeks, because it took us 2 weeks for the organization to be able to give us that level of conversation. But it took us just 1 week to actually sit down and build that system. It's very simple. It's just click and click, drag and drop, and we're done building the box. And I remember the CEO asked me and said, "Ayo, did you want to scam me that you used 6 months the last time?" And I showed him. I said, "Sir, we didn't scam you. The last time we built this bot writing core C sharp. This time I'm building this bot using Power Virtual Agent. And it was like he looked at it, the differences were clear because the number of space the chatbot was even eating up on their infrastructure was high. Now we are talking about a Power Virtual Agent already sitting on the platform. So you pay a license for your guys, $35, $35, something like that, for each person, and then the cloud system is already covered. Come on now. That makes work easier. Cost effectiveness. You see that? And that's what the Power Platform does for us. It brings us to build all of these business solutions with little or no code. Yusuf, like that now, can start to learn Power Platform today. In another 2 weeks, is building automations, apps, automations for Skillup Africa. I'm telling you, that's the interesting thing about it. So easy to learn, and then it meets in the. I'm saying to you right now that how many? Let me even give an example. How many of you have raised a ticket with the bank in this country, and you got an email back from the bank, and you look at your ticket number. Check your ticket number. It starts with CAS. I can mention a few banks, but for the sake of branding, I will not mention any name. CAS. That CAS is CAS, is a Microsoft Dynamics application system already in conjunction with Power Platform that is making you receive that automated bill when you raise a ticket. That's to tell you this, it's a system being widely received right now. So I want to come to you from 2 points. Now talk to you about the business use case. I'll talk to you about the platform itself. You see, Yusuf, this is who I am. I know my slides in my head. So you can just scroll through the slides as you want, okay? I know everything in my head. So I've literally talked about two different agendas right now. All right. So you can go to the third agenda. I think that's where I start talking about the use cases. Just scroll the slide to my use cases. Fantastic. So go forward, go forward. Okay, I've even talked about this actually. Okay. Now look at this, everybody. Let's stay on this screen a bit. The business value of Microsoft Power Platform. So let's talk about the business value. Look at it. It is easy to adapt it to any workforce. Whether your organization is a digital alien or digital native organization. What I mean by that is this: digital aliens are organizations that do not have any technology presence at all. Digital natives are those who do have, who probably even started off technology. Whether you are any one of those, the idea is to deliver onto you collaborative digital experiences. Yeah. Now helps you to become more agile in how you do things, easy, whether from any angle. And the idea is this: from my explanation, you will see that there's a connectivity between whether you're a pro developer or a citizen developer. Somebody may ask me, what is citizen developer? Anybody that builds application with a low code platform is a citizens developer. All right. Like with the Power Apps and Power Automate and Power BI, you're a citizens developer. If you build application with C Sharp and all of that, you're a pro developer. All right. So the idea is all of this makes building things easy. If you look at my third point, it says it reduce cost effectiveness. What do I mean by that? Guys, I've worked in this system for a long. Like it was read to you. I also work in the Azure space, so I'm an Azure advocate. Yeah, Microsoft Azure advocate. This is a cloud platform. I know what it is to buy an Azure infrastructure space. I know what it is to deploy an application. When you create slots in Azure to deploy your front end and back end solutions, or to deploy your database, you would know what it means in terms of costing to collect a space. I'm sure you know that, everybody, even with other platforms out there, right? It's easier here. For example, I think the Microsoft Power Apps is about $10 or $10 per user per month. So if you need to license 10 users, that's $100 per users per month. That's about, if you multiply by 12, you know how much it is per year. Now that amount is probably what you will be spending to get an infrastructure space for a month, depending on your usage level. Can you see that? I'm sure you all buy hosting and all of that to host your platforms. I know you know that if you're going to buy a dedicated hosting, you know how much it will cost you, because for you to have that level of security and dedication, you know how much it will cost you. But we're saying that what with I think with $20 thereabout, you have access to Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent here, and you can build as many applications as possible on the same infrastructure. I think with $10, that's Power BI, you can build robust, large. I'm talking about banks. Banks have about 450,000 customers, and they need to get reports on 500,000 customers. How do you expect them to do that? Yeah. So you can imagine the level of cost reduction that this has brought into the enterprise world. I'm saying enterprise because this system is an enterprise oriented system. Don't think you will build the power apps and somebody will just click on it and start using it. No, anybody to use the application must be licensed to use it. So it's basically for industries, for businesses, for organizations to ease your if you need to build a application to show people your website, you can build that one and show to the world. But this, and that is why in Power Platform we have Power Pages. So Power Pages is that side of Power Platform that we can expose to the public. So anybody can click on that one anywhere and see what you do. But when they want to engage your business, they need to be licensed. But like I said, it's purely for enterprise and business oriented, and that's the idea. Now, you might be on this call right now thinking, "This is fantastic. I want to learn this." Learning is easy. If you go to Google and you type Microsoft Learn, enter it, type Power Platform, you will see all of it. You can learn easily. In 4 days, 5 days, you can get the basic understanding of any of these tools and start using it on your own. Yeah, that's one. Number two, I'm sure you can meet up Skillup Africa. They can help you. They can guide you in learning the tool also. Now, for businesses, right, is important. Let me tell you how it's important. And this is me doing sales speech. Imagine you have a business of 5 people. Maybe currently it is you and 4 people, or you probably are the CEO, the manager, the everything of your business. Is a one-man business right now. You can start by doing this. Learn this tool and create automation. For example, a customer approached you, did business with you, and the customer says, "I'm going to send you an email tomorrow. Let's do business." And the customer sends you an email, and immediately the customer press send. In less than 30 seconds, the customer got a response from them saying, "Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo." And I'm like, "How did you know my name?" "Mr. Ayo, thank you for doing business with us. We'll get back to you shortly about your inquiry." That's Power Automate. Because when the customer says, "I'm going to get back to you," maybe he says, hello, and you might write an automation to say, "Pick the name or pick the email address," and then I say, "Hello, email address," and then you respond. Power Automate. And the person will wonder, how come you're just a very small business, but that's you being proactive with $5, $7 a month. See that you have taken your business to another level, leveraging on the Power Platform of tools to build customer related solutions, to build automations to help your business. You can start reporting. You can even do a free one just for yourself alone to see, use Power BI free just to see what's going on. Okay, I made 10 sales. Let me see the reporting. What is my prediction going to be in another 1 month? What's my historical data saying? You see, all these tools can help you do that. You don't have to employ a developer to do that. You will do that yourself by learning the tool. And if you're a business, empower your staff to learn it. Let them do it, and let them start building processes for each department. HR will need something, build. Finance needs something, build. In 30 seconds, 30 minutes, 1 hour, they are done building what they are thinking of. Yeah. Now, when you now need to maybe make it more large, that's fine. You can get more people who can think logically and in a more robust way to then get on board in this case. But the idea is all these tools are made to help you build customer-centric solutions for reporting, for application development, for automations, for customer engagement. That's the chatbot. Engage your customer. They don't have to start calling you. Let's Power Virtual Agent help you engage them instantly. When that gets heated up, they can be transferred back to you. That is what the Power Platform is doing in this case. That's what the Power Platform is for in this case. See, I'm talking to both developers and to business. So if you want to learn to do it, fantastic. If you're a business and an organization, fantastic. You see how the tool is so effective and helpful for everybody. So the Power Platform ecosystem technology is meant to help to ease business operations. Business operation from the development standpoint, limiting and reducing every form of development lag time. That is what the Power Platform is meant to do. All of the elements. Now, the last thing I will talk about while I hand off is Dataverse. Microsoft Dataverse and AI Builder are also part of the Power Platform. They are like underlying systems. The AI Builder is an artificial intelligence system. Microsoft created the AI Builder to help you solve artificial intelligence purpose. You want to do maybe scanning of a document, you know, object detection, text detection. I have a water bottle here, right? Maybe, for example, you want to say if I can scan like different shades of this water bottle, and I'm saying that what if I get to a store and I'm looking, I can just scan all the bottles and know the exact bottle. See that that's artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? The AI builder is in conjunction with the Power Platform right? It's a Microsoft tool also that can help you perform AI oriented activities. Guys, you do not need to know how to code. All you need to do is the Power Platform already have a tool there that will help you train this model. It trained this model. Once you get a 70% accuracy in your training, your model is good to go. I wrote a function I wrote an ML function one time. I knew what it took me to be able to get an 85% model as demanded by the customer. I told the customer 70% was good for me, but I had to write more functions to get it done. You see, but the AI builder makes it easier for me. I don't know what the compiler is already good enough to get the job done for you. Now, the Microsoft Dataverse is a data service system. Guys, data service system. It is not a database alone. It serves the function of relational database. However, it serves the function of relational database. However, it also serves the function of data system management. What do I mean by that? You want it to serve as a database to help you store data, to retrieve data for your application. Fantastic, it will do that. Do you now want it to now take the step further to fully doing what we call data management when it comes to security management, when it comes to uh, data information extractions? It can do all of those. See, is a system that the Power Platform sit on top that addresses everything. Let me show you one thing. Let me show you on something. If you have to write a database, we start from where? Our SQL query, right? Creating your tables, your database, create your tables, do your your entity relationship diagrams, and all of that, right? And then you start doing your keys, foreign keys, your join, your where clause. In Microsoft Dataverse, what you are, click here, click here, click here, you are done creating tables. Click here, click here, click here, you are done creating your columns. Click here, do your relationships. And that relationship chunks away everything called keys. That's the beauty of that platform. It's so powerful. Dataverse sitting, which is the bedrock to which the Power Platform sit on. So all of this put together helps improve business orientation. If you check my slide, if you go to my slide, I think it's the second to the last slide, you will see that I'm sure if you know Itro is one of like the largest airport, I think not only airport, maybe train also in the world today. It's in the UK. They use Power Platform. Yusuf, just go to my second to the last slide also. Itro has thousands. Go to where I have Itro. I think it's the slide before this one. Yeah. You see that Itro has 76,000 workers and 200,000 travelers in a single day. Single day, 76 workers working at a time, 200,000 travelers a day. I'm telling you, Itro currently, if you have ever been to the UK and you've landed in Itro before, you see that there's an application you use to fill in your entry. That's Power Apps. That's Power Apps. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. And the automation behind this is Power Automate. And they do their reporting with Power BI. That's how important it is when we talk about the Power Platform. All right. So I enjoin everybody use the Power Platform to build, and as a business enjoy it. You know, if once you are there are solutions you have to build with core development. However, do a very structured research so that you can know when to build an application with core engineering and when to then sit on the Microsoft Power Platform to do your development. Thank you very much, everybody, for having me here. I will take your questions right now. Thank you, Yusuf. All right, Yusuf, you're muted. Can you unmute so that I can hear you? Thank you very much.
Yeah, wow, that was breathtaking. Thank you so much for that busy presentation, Mr. Ayotunde. In fact, I had to be sure that I was picking every point because I don't want to miss any of them. I actually learned a lot from that. Thank you so much for doing justice to that question.
Thank you.
So for my end, I want to ask that someone sent me a question via DM and asked. And I said, okay, you said a whole lot about this, and especially when you're introducing and you mentioned how businesses can enjoy a lot more from this. So someone asks, how do businesses, like when you mean businesses, what are the size of business looking at? Are you looking at small scale enterprises, or you think there must be a large scale businesses that can maximize power platform? Do you think what are the size of business you are looking at to those
Fantastic.
that can maximize this platform?
All right, fantastic. So the Power Platform does not have a business size limit. All right. While I was talking earlier, I said even if you're just five in your organization, your business is just five of you, right? Maybe you and just four employers, or just you alone. It can be you alone that owns your business, because the purpose of the Power Platform is to automate your business. So it's not about the size of your business, it's about the business itself. So the idea is, how do I make sure my business operates, in a seamless fashion, in a timely fashion? Then that's what the Power Automate comes to do for you. So even if I'm the only one in my business, but I still need to probably keep in touch with my business. If a customer is reaching out to me, how do I make sure I am not missing mails from my customer? How do I make sure I can have conversations with my customer instantly? How do I get my reporting? You know, a lot of people do business, especially small scale business. You do business and they don't have a reporting structure. They don't know how much they've spent, how much came in. They don't know how many engagement they've had with customers. You can have Power Platform do that for you, building a simple Power BI, building a simple automation, and then get your business going. So whether you're a one-man business, a two triple business, a 10,000 organization business, the Power Platform serves any business level and any business volume that you have. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that answers it very well. So talking about people that wants to implement this in their business, are there recommendations you can make? Maybe platforms they can learn the processes, and they can get started.
Fantastic. So when it comes to learning, yeah, like I said, learning is in two ways. So you can have instructor-led trainings. For example, you might reach out to Skillup Africa to say, I want to learn, I need an instructor to take me through. I'm sure they can organize that for you, where an instructor comes and trains you. How about you learning on your home, right? So I said something during my conversation also, that if you go to Google now, right, and you go to and you type Microsoft Learn, Microsoft Learn. When you type it, you will see learn.microsoft.com. That's the URL. Maybe you can paste it on the platforms. Learn.microsoft.com. When you go there, you will see from there that you have various learning materials. Various learning materials. So you can simply just go there, register your email address, and then pick any one of them and learn. I think some are free, some are for a fee. So whether and then you can follow the learning pattern and learn. You can go to YouTube and learn. You can actually, if you want to learn, through myself. So my organization, we also train people. Skill Up Africa, which I'm a very good friend to the house, they train people. So you can go to either instructor led that way, or just go to Microsoft Learn and then type Power Platform and then start learning different levels. And Microsoft broke it down into pieces. I think the first thing is the PL 900. Everybody, if you want to learn, if you go to Microsoft Power, or you can just go to Google and type Peter Lima. That's Power Platform. So PL 900, 900. That's the fundamental of Power Platform. You can even start from there. Click on that, follow that that learning curriculum they have, and they at least get a basic knowledge of the system. Then you can take it up from there. All right. So those are the platforms you can actually go to and you can learn. And you can go to YouTube and then just type Power Platform. You'll see many videos. I have a few, and then a lot of people also have a few. All right. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure after now, some of us will have to explore that. I mean, remember you mentioned that I should also learn that for like 2 weeks, so I think I'll do that after now. So,
I'm telling you, Yusuf. I'm saying the truth.
so
If you give 2 weeks
yeah,
to that, you will learn. I'm saying in 2 weeks, I can give you
yeah.
this. If you check the PNL 100 and you can go through it in 2 weeks, you will build an automation for what you do today.
Yeah, some of our audiences are actually young people trying to get into the tech space, and we are doing all this is to bring different tech skills and areas they can explore to their doorstep. That's why we're doing all of this. So really appreciate the area you are handling today. And so talking about learning, you mentioned platforms they can learn. So what about opportunities in this space? What do you think? Someone that learns this within 2 weeks, what are the opportunities you can tell them? Okay, watch out for this. Oh, try this out. Oh, enroll for this. Oh, apply for this. What are the things you tell them about?
Fantastic. Fantastic. So let me tell you one beauty about the Microsoft Power Platform and its community value. Now is this. Now you would understand with me that it is not easy to uh, really put out there core programming stack. Let me tell you what I'm saying. There was a time I wanted to do some webinars on DevOps for people. I wanted to do a dual seminar for Azure DevOps and AWS DevOps for a lot of people. And the acceptance by organizations were not really welcoming because they felt like, why, what's the value of DevOps for them really? What's DevOps? You understand? It takes a lot for them to even get to be informed about that. But when it comes to the Power Platform, this is different. The difference is that with the Power Platform, number one is that I know that, and businesses know that oh, this can easily help me automate my business process, and the development time is so minimal and so little. And then I do not even need to know how to program to be able to build things that are valuable for my business. One, you see businesses pushing in their employers to come and learn. Are you following what I'm saying? Why am I saying that? Is as a young person, uh, let me give you a name. Uh, all protocol duly observed. I'm going to tell her personally. I mentioned her name here. Rachel Irabo. She's currently a student in a school. She started Power Platform, I think, just this year. This year, if you go to YouTube and you type Rachel Irabo, you will see her name. She has a lot of videos. I mean, a lot of videos where she has shown people to how to do things with Power Platform. No matter how small, she just put it out there. Now she's in school. By the time she's done with school, she already have industry connect with myself and a lot of industry leaders in Microsoft. She's not going to look for a job. That's the truth. Are you getting what I'm saying? When you learn this
Yeah, I
skill,
get that.
this is the beauty. Let me tell you how to get a job for you. And I'm going to use Yusuf. Yusuf, I'm giving you an OT now. So you must give me dividend when it comes. So somebody like
Yeah,
Yusuf,
yeah.
somebody like Yusuf now decides to learn the power automate in 2 weeks. Yusuf can look at his own department at Skillup and say, okay, what do we do right now that is more of a manual process? Are you following me? Yusuf picks up it and say, okay, instead of this manual process, let me write this simple automation so that we don't have to do this again. By the time he has done that, the business will look at Yusuf and say, you're adding value to us. And then is a value is value. Something will come back, right? And that's what a lot of people have done. I have people, they are probably they were HR managers, they were financial person, but they learned the Power Platform and they now use that Power Platform to build a simple process in their organization. And the managers were like, you are a finance person, all you do is accounting. How come you're now building applications again? But they look at the application, it was valuable for their business. AXA Mansard is one company in this country that does everything with Power Platforms. Are you following what I'm saying? With Power Platform, and I know the guys that are there. A lot of them started that way. So you get the gist now. So that's important. So when you learn, guys, this is what you should do. When you learn, see, don't add and look for a job. When you learn, look for niche, look for problems, challenges around you. Yeah, I did something for a church, a friend's church. They needed. I noticed that they were on Microsoft 365 because they have a mailing structure. And I approached them. I said, you are on Microsoft 365. I can do something for you with this Microsoft. You don't have to buy any extra thing with this Microsoft. And they were like, what do you mean? And I wrote, so they have to send reports monthly. I wrote a simple automation for them to send reports. All they need is every time their admin collates the report, saves the report on their OneDrive. They have a OneDrive. My automation picks that report, put it in their report folder. Once it is every 29th of the month, every 29th, the automation goes to that folder, checks what report is there, picks it, send it to their headquarters in their mail. I did it for that church. I've gotten a lot of business from that church. One guy in the church approached me. I showed him what to do to learn. He picked that up. He wrote other automations for the church. After then, just wrote it. Do you know that now the church decided to employ the boy full time to be their IT guy, and he was not even funny enough. He read civil engineering. But now he does IT for the church, and from the church he got businesses. So when you learn, you need to look for problems. What I've learned, the things I've learned now, how can I use it? And see, the best way to learn first is find a problem, solve it. That's the best way to get a job. Find a problem, solve it. Learn this, find a niche, and then solve it. Do you get? That's the way. Then are there opportunities? Yes. If you go on LinkedIn right now and you type Power Platform, you will see a lot of jobs because it's a new technology, not too long. I think Power Platform itself is about 5, 6 years old. I'm one of the first beneficiary of this learning ever in Microsoft. Yeah. However, it's just a few years old, so which means there's market for people are needed in that career field. Right now, all the big fours are moving to Power Platforms. I'm telling you, all the big fours. All the big fours. A lot of people are getting jobs there. So when you learn the opportunities, if you want to apply, LinkedIn is there. Go and share. Go to Microsoft Career Platform. You will see. Click on any, especially LinkedIn, right? You will see opportunities like that. However, the major part is this. Like I say, instead of looking for a job, let the job find you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. That was great thinking. That was informative enough, and you simplified so much that anybody can listen to that and start applying. So for all our viewers from YouTube and our Facebook pages, we've heard that from him already. We can. This is not. It's not about what's Power Platform now. He has done justice to all of that very well. He has give us referrals on how to learn. Microsoft Learn itself and how to start applying them to our immediate communities, because the goal is to ensure all these tech tools are being used to develop Africa, solve African problems, for businesses, for homes, for churches and the likes, which is practically what you've just said just now about how to apply those skills. So really, we really appreciate you for coming on our program today. Hope we'll be calling next time. Be able to, you always come out and. So thank you so
Any
much.
day, anytime.
We really appreciate. Is there any party words you want to give us before you leave?
Yes. So all I would say is, uh, you know, for everybody listening, whether you're a business or somebody who wants to really get into learning, uh, first thing, understand that it is possible for you. All right, and the fears you probably have is when you see pro developers. I know how people see us. When you see developers, they're like, me, I cannot learn how to code right now. I don't have the brain to code. However, understand that the Power Platform is your solution to that fear. So take your time, read the system, go to Google, look at what people have done, go to YouTube, yeah, check different people who have built things, just see what they've done and let it intrigue you. Then look for what any niche, map it together and start adding value to your business, to your company, and then to yourself. And you will see that the sky is not even your limit, it's just even your beginning, it's your starting point. You can do things and then give back to people, give back to your community. From there, you will see that value will be returned back to you. Don't forget, days of little beginnings are days of character formation. So pick this little beginning, learn something, form a character for yourself, form a need, form a system for yourself, and move from there. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you Skillup Africa for having me. I'm so grateful.
Thank you
Same
so
way to
much.
my Egbon, Temitayo Dad, is my Egbon. Let me tell you, it's my Egbon. When I got to school in Futa, he was the one that housed me. My very first entry of school.
Wow.
I slept in his house for about 3 4 weeks or 1 month thereabout. They asked me before I even start saying, let me also my way through school then. So I'm so grateful to be on this platform today. Thank you everybody for having me. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Bye for now.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you for having me.